Thank you to Sue and Leah for setting up this platform for women to speak today. Today, I want everyone to hear the name of a Queensland doctor, Dr. Gillian Spencer. Mark the name well, because she is the hero at the centre of an ongoing saga of dangerous clinical suppression in Queensland Health. Dr. Spencer is a senior child and adolescent psychiatrist. She has worked for Queensland Health for over 20 years with a blameless professional record. Yet, in 2022, she ran foul of her employer, the Queensland Children's Hospital. Hospital authorities were unhappy when she raised concerns with her bosses that the hospital was using gender transition treatments for young people who experience gender distress. She shared the worries of many doctors about the treatments, about their safety, about their efficacy, and the capacity of vulnerable children to give truly informed consent to the treatments that might be used on them. The response of the hospital was to issue her with a formal directive to conform to a gender-affirming approach and to refer the troubled kids she was seeing to the hospital's gender clinic. This directive went against her professional judgment, and ultimately Dr. Spencer was accused of being transphobic, and that led to her being suspended from her clinical duties at the hospital. Queensland, let that sink in. We are living in a very dangerous time when experienced doctors can be directed to treat patients in a way that goes against their conscience and medical expertise, and when they can be unjustly stood down over unfounded allegations. But Dr. Spencer is an incredibly brave and committed doctor, and she has continued to be a whistleblower, speaking out in public forums and in the media, warning about the potential harms of gender transition treatments. For that, she has been further disciplined, and in a seemingly final action, she has now been advised that she is not to return to work in the Queensland health system. Perhaps the reason Dr. Spencer has tirelessly defended her right to speak is that she understands the medical scandal unfolding across our nation. That is, young people who experience a disconnect between their born sex and their belief about who they are being made the victims of an appalling, unsafe medical experiment. In these experiments, children are affirmed in their deluded belief that they can change their sex. Then they are given off-label drugs to block the normal progress of puberty and cross-sex hormones to force the body to develop the physical characteristics of the opposite sex. Yet, as every sane person knows, there are no drugs that can actually change a boy into a girl or vice versa. And to date, there is no clear evidence here or from around the world that using these drugs and hormones benefits the mental health of young people the way it is claimed they do. Worse still, evidence grows by the day, suggesting there are serious risks of harm associated with using these unproved medical techniques. The list of potential harms is shocking. It includes a permanent loss of fertility, abnormalities of sperm, cardiovascular complications, increased risk of stroke, memory loss, early onset dementia, early death, lifelong sexual dysfunction, and more. Worst of all, these drug treatments are often the gateway for disfiguring, mutilating surgeries that down the track wounded detransitioners severely regret. Faced with a list like this, it's obvious that Dr. Spencer had a duty of care to raise the red flag as she did. She deserves an award for trying to protect kids, not the unacceptable, censorious treatment she received. She needs to be reinstated, and reinstated urgently, so that she can bring some sanity back to the space of gender distress treatment and have kids treated safely and compassionately as she has advocated for. If you want to help get Dr. Spencer reinstated, there are a couple of things you can do. Email the Minister for Health, the Honourable Tom Nicholls, and ask him to reverse the decision of Queensland Health to suspend her employer. The other thing you could do is add your name to the nearly 6,000 Queenslanders who have already signed an e-petition for her reinstatement. This petition was sponsored by our very own Woman Up member, Narissa. And thank you, Narissa. And it can be found on the Queensland Parliamentary Petitions website. There's also a QR code floating around on various sheets of paper. Here you can photograph that and it will link you to the petition. Thank you very much.